I wanted to talk about my experience growing up fat and ugly. I wasn't really ugly, but so much fat was covering my face and body that I never knew that under it I was actually quite pretty. But I think for the people that relate, I used food as a coping mechanism because I grew up in a neglectful home emotionally. Like, I had a single mother and she worked all the time. And also the other people in my house, they were older and they were raised with the mindset of that we don't show our emotions, we don't feel our emotions, we just bury them, we don't talk about them, we don't think about them, we just maybe complain, but we don't ever try to fix anything. And also on the other side, there was like never any validation, so it's like always trying to be, like as a child, you're always trying to be perfect and fix other people's problems, while at the same time, like, they're never fixed, they're always complaining, they're never happy, and they put that somehow, sometimes directly onto you, sometimes indirectly, subconsciously. And I use food as like a coping mechanism, even use like music. And it was something I just dealt with, and I just felt like, you can't take food away from me. Like, food is my happiness, which is it's quite sad, but I mean, the emotions that you stuff inside have to go somewhere. They don't just go anywhere. Our emotions are trying to tell us something. They're signals. They're not there for no reason. So it's like, I know some people don't like this reference, but it's like all my built up emotions are like on my body showing. And I've seen so many people talk about, like, you're just fat because you don't want to be seen, or you don't want to be popular. But I really think, other than it being a coping mechanism and it's like your emotional comfort, it's kind of like a shield. It's, when you grow up like that, you always kind of know you're different. You always know you're not like everyone else, I guess, because you're hyper aware that you're different, that you look different from others, but also other kids are mean and they clearly tell you and bully you. But I feel like when you grow up a little bit, even, if you're into your like late teens, early 20s, and you're still dealing with it, it's like this shield. So you're so insecure about many other things, but this is the thing that people can see so easily. And you've dealt with people picking on it forever about this flaw. So it's not easy. It still affects you, but it's not as hard as if you were to lose the weight and then now they'll pick out another thing wrong with you, something that you've never had to deal with before. So, because you're imperfect and you have other flaws, and this shield is just something you can deal with. You've dealt it over. You value other opinions from other people over yours. And you're scared for other people to see your flaws. But it takes a lot of work because you have to learn how to stop valuing everyone else's opinion over your own. And at the same time, stop trying to live up to this standard of perfection that you'll never achieve. It's like this fake thing in all our minds. Oh, if I work, 20 hours a day, I'll be perfect. Like, or I lose all this weight, I'll be perfect. It's just, once I get here, once I get there, once I do this, I'll be perfect. I'll be happy. My life will be great. And this is just not reality. But growing up overweight affects different people in different ways. Sometimes it really is just because you're parents taught you bad eating habits. But it's not usually. And it's even proved that people with adverse childhood experiences have a higher risk of obesity, have a higher risk of doing drugs or having a bad relationship with alcohol or smoking. So there really is something with the built up emotions in your body that you never feel or that you never can act on. But the longer you hold it out and the longer you just keep food as your comfort, the longer you'll be held back. Because you can lose weight without dealing with all your emotions. But when you feel like powerless or out of control, like you may have felt as a child, and if that persists for a longer period of time, the weight may come back. So it really, in a way, is just these built up emotions that you have been too scared to face, because it's very difficult. And it's very difficult not only to face them, but it's extremely difficult then to try to work on them. But it is worth it. And it will take time, and it'll take time your whole lifetime, because if you think about it, the majority of the time your brain was programmed was when you were a child. So you have to undo a lot of things. Yeah, I wonder if anyone feels the same way. I assume they do, but I assume most people don't talk about it. You feel the same way?